Okay. Everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Tonight's episode, we're off to a rocky start. Jay Jurden, who is one of our writers, and we're here with Henrik. Blix.
This time?
Jay brought
Congrats on the gig, by the way.
a brand name water bottle onto the podcast. Look what I'm drinking. This is just...
Well, maybe if you stopped paying me, I wouldn't throw out all this money on Poland Springs. Sorry, censored if you got to, but
Jay's
I got Poland Springs money.
Poland Springs deal.
I got Poland Springs money now, y'all.
Oh, great. Now we got to...
Yeah, what are you
You
drinking?
do realize now I have to pixelate all of your mouths.
Where are you?
This is going to be the first time I'm beeped in anything, and so
Is that really
it's
true?
very fun that it's because I'm saying Poland Springs.
No. We can make it something
It sounded
racist
like
if
you
you
might
want.
have been
Well,
saying
I don't care for that.
cock.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded like you were saying caw.
Yeah.
This is, for those of you who are at home and you're watching this, we obviously film the podcast, and you're going to write in and you go, single use water bottle with plastics, young man? And what I say to that is, no, it is not. This is actually biodegradable.
Yes.
And is made of broccoli.
And you got that on your first day at MTV. And you've been carrying it ever since.
Back before any of this shit was a problem.
They went, we got this new thing called plastic water bottle.
I got this,
if
and
you
I
look
kept it.
really close, it's signed by Julie Downtown Brown.
It's signed by Tony.
Tony.
It's actually
And
Tony.
I don't know who that is.
I haven't gotten the third Tony.
Henrik.
Did you really not know Tony?
Wow.
Tony?
Well, John,
Oh,
that's
boy.
not
All
a
right.
youth thing. That's a white thing on Henrik.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I think this is a young thing because
Nah.
I'm 16.
All right.
They said, you're going to write for the guy who's on The Daily Show. And I said, Trevor Noah?
No, you're not
No,
gonna
that's
get.
a different guy.
we're
That's a
not.
whole new.
And then my
Oh,
old ass
boy.
said, Craig.
What? No,
Craig.
no. I was in between those two.
No.
I had a
See, you're
whole-
saying words, but you're not making sense.
Good for you.
Speaking of white things, we have Steve Kerr on the podcast.
Don't
today.
get wider or better.
He is the Chicago Bulls sharpshooter, many championships during the Michael Jordan era and the reign. He is the coach of the Golden State Warriors, many more championships. I assume he's going to be a GM, and he's going to win many, many more championships in that way. And his sole purpose is to keep the Knicks from ever smiling, ever touching joy. So Steve Kerr, to me, has Phil Jackson's resume, right? Won some championships as a player, wasn't the main guy like Phil Jackson. Won some championships as a coach. You're not the player, but you're the architect of some of that thing. What he lacks is Jackson's douchiness in any way, like none of it.
Oh, we got here fast.
He doesn't. Do you understand what I'm
The
saying?
city of Chicago is going to attack John.
Yeah, I think
They understand.
John's drawn a line in the sand with the city of Chicago.
By the way, he
Prior to
wasn't
this.
ever douchey when he was with the Knicks. That's a Chicago Bulls thing. They douchied him up.
And I think
Phil
what's-
Jackson was a mensch.
Yeah.
When he was the sixth man on the Knicks when they won the championship, you couldn't find a nicer, more humble individual. And then Chicago got in his head, fucked them all up.
And the sixth man is always the nicest guy on the team.
That's what it stands for.
Well, that
If you're a six man, that means you're like, no, you.
You guys
is
have
that
fun.
in a Miss America thing. Is that like a miscongeniality? Is that
I think so. I think the
No.
sixth man is the miscongeniality.
okay? Fair enough. That makes sense.
Henrik, you play basketball. Don't lie to these people.
That's
Was
true.
that-
I play basketball, and it's all six men. It's me and a bunch of comedy writers. On
Yes.
Sunday mornings, we play, and you have never seen a slower, more congenial game of basketball.
I'm
in your
going to tell
life.
you. So years ago, when I wrote for Gary Shanley on Larry Sanders, and he would always have a basketball game at his house on a Sunday. He would invite all the comics out there. And when I tell you the quality of play, so here's how the games generally went. Al Franken, Al Franken was Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
If a senator is crossing you up, you have a problem.
Crossing you up, and it was always the same game. It was asthmatic, out of breath, until Kevin Nealon would show up, and he was Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, he's big in the post.
So he would just fill the paint. But those games were the funnest,
Oh my god.
It's the best.
least athletically talented.
I love that comedians league, if you're 6'4", you're a center.
Last week we had a moment where me and another, that thing in basketball where like the ball might have gone off either guy, and they're both like, it went off the other guy. Except what we did is we're like, I think it went off me. I think you should. And he's like, no. I'm pretty sure it went off me. I think you should take it.
Can I just say that's what I want white guilt to look like? No.
Yeah.
I think it's no.
No, did I?
No.
Oh,
No.
Did I keep you from housing? Was that?
I like how
How about you vote for me?
You know what?
Now, what league is that, Henry? Is this now? But you're still young and hale, so you still play. But you're not a particularly tall individual.
No. In a comedy writers league, we need to make sure that this is all to scale.
Okay, fair
In a
enough.
comedy writers
So
league,
are you
I
a
have
2?
handles.
Are you a 3? What are you? Do you
I'm
stretch
usually-
the court?
The ball runs through me. The ball goes through me and it goes right out of bounds.
By the way, in a comedians league, generally it's the snacks that run through you. Generally, there are digestive issues in a
The
comedians
first
league.
time, it was maybe the first week that we were in the office. Henrik was bragging about having hops, and I was like, oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't. Rob was bragging for me.
And then I was like,
Rob was saying you had hops.
I was
Rob
like,
was saying I had
Henrik-
hops.
Someone was like, Henrik, Henrik got some bounce. And I was like, nah. And then Henrik on his phone, because he was so proud, had a video of him getting rim.
Okay.
Which,
I don't know. I don't need to see
As
a
the
video
master of the
that.
double
Do you wanna-
entendre.
Do you want to take that back?
As the only queer person here, I stand by what I said. It was a beautiful video of Henrik getting rim.
All right.
I
so
said,
this,
fellas, first week here. Here's me getting some rim.
this goes back to a conversation that we all had earlier about the role that ass play now has in American sexual society and parlance, and then to, on the same day, without even a palate cleanser, suggest that Henrik has videos of him getting rim.
Wow.
What am I supposed to think in that situation?
Okay, but
You know what's amazing is my parents are gonna be like, so Henrik was on the podcast. We're gonna listen to it. We're gonna have everyone over. We're gonna make a little food. We're gonna listen to the podcast. And it's going to be 20 minutes of like...
Can I tell you this? And I imagine your parents being so pleasant as to be two Hummel figures in a curio cabinet. And when
Yes.
you visit them, they actually live in the cabinet and you just open it and you take them both out. And
They're
put
going to
them on your
pop out of the
table.
cuckoo clock and listen to this.
Henrik was delivered by the stork. That's how pure they are. John, they
it
sent
seems
the office.
pure.
This isn't a joke. They sent the office popcorn, and he was like, just because they like to do stuff like that.
No, John sent us popcorn, but I was worried that it was my parents until I found out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
The popcorn came in and I was like, my parents sent us popcorn. Someone was like, John sent everybody popcorn. I was like,
Oh my God.
Mike Royce used to have a great joke about when he was in school and he'd be sitting in school and all of a sudden over the loudspeaker they go, Mike Royce, can you please report to the office? Your mother is here with your snow pants. With your snow pants.
and that's the
what
thing,
it
as an
reminds me of.
adult, you're like, that is so beautiful. And as a child, you're like, just put a bullet in
When
my
did
head.
that turn? Do you now you love them unconditionally, but did you eye roll them at any point in the earlier days?
Oh, sure.
Oh, you
sure.
did? All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but you were a little nerd the whole time.
I was a nerd the
so-
whole time, yeah.
Right.
Which I think I
You were a good boy.
performatively eye rolled to be like, my parents. What? I like reading books with swear words.
So you're like, my parents, they're the worst. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Henrik, but also the fact that you still chose to read and not just look at porno mags. You guys, I like
Yeah.
dirty books. I mean, they cursing.
I was bad at faking it. You guys read those Dirk Pitt novels? There's sex scenes.
I got to tell you, this is Henrik and
my
Kerr,
God.
I think, cut from the same cloth. They're very
Wow.
similar, pleasant. I think lived a lot. You know what I mean? I think it's
Yeah.
a very similar, like,
The offense runs through both of them.
I think the offense runs through both of them.
Thank
and
you.
both have that thing where you're just like, yeah, I bet, what soundtrack is playing in their house? I bet it's always Christmas music. I bet it's always some version of a Peanuts Christmas.
That's a good.
My family knows all the words
Good
to that.
Apple plug, John.
Peanuts is Apple?
Rory
Yeah.
says yes.
Yeah, we say yes.
All right. And that's like the cartoon?
Yeah, Snoopy has his own Apple Plus TV show.
Really?
Does he really?
Yeah, I think we're
Is it a public affairs
we're
show?
beating him though.
Is he on my territory? All right. So Steve Kerr is on. Let's get back to Steve Kerr.
Sophie wanted this to be 5 minutes.
Do you guys know Steve Kerr? Do you like Steve Kerr?
Yes.
Are you fans of Steve Kerr?
We both like met Steve Kerr like in different ways. Like I met him yesterday at the office, but Henrik has like a different history with Steve Kerr.
I don't have a history with
You've
Steve Kerr.
met Steve Kerr.
No, I met him yesterday.
Okay.
But
That's
I
very
know
similar to what Jay was saying.
So I came from Second
not.
City, and he is a known person around Second City.
Sure.
Because when he
Chicago.
was playing for Chicago, he would come and watch them, and I think he had seen Chelsea on stage. And now, as the coach of the Warriors, whenever he goes back to Chicago, he goes and watches a show, and they let him come and do the improv set.
John, do you understand? We're talking about a man so nice. He likes
improv.
Because he's a yes and.
Because he's a yes
Steve
and
Kerr
guy.
is a yes and. Here's what Steve Kerr does
He
in
said it,
timeouts.
I read the-
And you can hear it on the microphone. A lot of times, like Draymond will be like, "We have got to get the ball to the corner. You've got to let Steph hit one." And then Steve Kerr always, "Yes, we do have to get the ball to Steph in the corner." And we're both on the moon.
Yeah. And I'm your doctor.
Yes. All right. So he's going to come on. We're going to talk to him.
I did used to watch a Steve Kerr shooting instructional video on YouTube.
Oh my God.
To work on my jump shot.
What's the one thing that you remember from that video?
So there's guys who their motion starts like at the top of their jump, and there's guys whose the whole motion starts at the bottom, like their whole body gets into it, and he's a whole body guy.
Okay.
That's where he gets his
Interesting.
power.
That's
it's all
old school.
coordinated. Yeah.
Whole body is old school. If you watch
Yes.
the old 40s and 50s, they never shot. They shot from their knees. Like they would bring it up and roll it. And then it was years later where guys would be like, I'm strong enough to hold the ball up by my head.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And if I hold it down here by my pantaloons,
Because we got rid of polio. Now.
Yeah. In
All
the
these-
60s, once we got calcium in our
Yeah.
diets,
Once we
players
started putting
shooting from here.
fluoride in.
and that's why the vaccine should be mandatory.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So here's Steve Kerr and our conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
For the love of God.
And then we're coming back.
Let's come